Hello, highly esteemed viewers. If you are preparing for the JAMB UTME exam, this very video is for you. And we know that almost all the students, all the students sitting for the JAMB UTME exam takes the use of English language. And in this year's use of English language, you'll be using the novel, the Life Changer novel that was written by Khadijat Abubakar Jalli. Now, if you have read through this book, this video is going to take you through the a review of the textbook, and that's exactly what we are going to do in this video. Now, take time to just take 5 hours to skim through the textbook, and once you finish skimming through the textbook, make sure you take note of this question one after another, and then if you can be able to find a solution to the 200 questions in this review video, then you can be able to answer the 10 questions that will be given to you in your JAMB UTME examination. Remember, that 10 question uh, can get you a desired 10 up to 10 plus marks that you need to top up your score in your examination. So if you are ready, let's start off with the review of the textbook. Remember, we are going to go through 200 questions in this video. Now, the first question says, who was fond of teasing Omar? The option A to B to D, you're meant to choose one. And the second question, who was narrating their encounter with their teacher? Is it Tema? Is it Omar? Is it Bint or Jamila? You have to choose an option from this question. Remember, the options are not given to you, and I said it's a review because you are meant to just skim through the question in order to get solutions to this question. And I promise you, once you can work hard to get solutions to these 200 questions, then you can be able to solve the 10 questions that will be given to you in your exam. Question number 3. Omar insisted that his sister should begin to call him what? Check out the 3 options and see which is best for you. Question number 4 says, how old was Bint? Is it 4 years, 5 years, 18 years, or 20 years? You have the option to choose. Question number 5 says, Omar was offered admission into which of these schools? Is it Ahmadu Bello University, University of Lagos, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, or University of Ibadan? You have the choice to choose. Question number 6 says, how old was Omar? That's the option A to D. You have to choose one. Question number 7, Omar was offered admission to study what course? Is it accounting, education, theatre arts, or law? Choose an option. Question number 8 says, why did their mother eavesdrop on them? Is it because they are crying? Is it because they are praying? Is it because they are murmuring, or because they are laughing? I want you to choose an option. Question number 9. Who was Omar's favorite sibling? Is it Tema? Is it Jamila? Is it Bint? Or none of the above? Question number 10. Omar almost got angry when what happened? Check through the option and choose the right option. Question number 11. What subject did teacher in Bint's story teach? Is it science studies, English, French, or physics science? Question number 12. What arrangement is correct from the eldest to the youngest? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 13. Bint was in school. Which school was it? Is it nursery, primary, secondary, or tertiary school? Question number 14. Ummi translates any of the options above. Which of the options above? Question number 15. Under which tree did they all go out to sit when the room got hot? I want you to pick an option. Question number 16. How long has it been since the last had light? Is it a day? Is it 2 days? Is it 3 days or 4 days? Question number 17. Au revoir means what according to the novel? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question number 18. What name does Tema call her mother? Is it Mom, Ummi, Mama, or Mommy? Question number 19. Malam Salihu was the who was Malam Salihu? Choose an option from option A to D. Question number 20. How many years ago was Ummi's university story? Choose an option from option A to D. Question number 21. Around what time did Ummi start going home after her registration? Choose an option from A to D. Question number 22. On what condition did Ummi's father agree to her university admission? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or D? Question number 23. Keke Napep is a what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 24. When did Ummi get married? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 25. The HOD was too nice and friendly with Ummi because of what? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 26. What was the first thing that Ummi noticed when entering the university? I want you to choose an option between A and D. Question number 27. Why was Ummi not sure if she will be able to face the HOD again? Is it because of the toilet embarrassment, or B, or C, or because she refused to date him? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 28. What dress code would Oma wear in the university? Is it black shirt, white trouser? Choose an option between A to D. Why did Ummi lie to the HOD that she was pressed? Choose an option between A to D. Question number 30. Ummi described the way girls in the university dressed as completely naked, leaving little to the imagination. That is D. Choose between A and D. Question number 31. Why didn't Ummi tell the HOD that she was married? Choose between option A and D. Question number 32. What was Salma's full name? Is it Salma Abubakar, Salma Johnson, Salma Ahmed, or Salma Mohammed? Choose an option between A and D. Question 33. The full meaning of HOD is? Choose an option between A and D. Question 34. Ummi's surname was Abubakar, Johnson, Ahmed, or Mohammed? Choose an option. What was the name of the HOD? Choose an option between A and D. Question 36. Whom did Salma compare the university lecturer to? Choose an option. Question 37. According to Salma, moves mountains. What does that mean? Choose an option between A and D. Question 38. The HOD was from what tribe? Choose an option between A and D. Question 39. Who was in the screening office all the while that Salma grumbled? Choose an option between A and D. Question 40. In the HOD's office, why didn't Ummi sit down until she was asked to? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 41. Why was someone grumbling? Choose an option between A and D. Question 42. Pick Ummi's correct matric number. Choose an option between A and D. Question 43. When someone knew that the young man he had spoken to was a screening officer, she did what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 45. Who asked for the story about the quiet one? Choose an option between A and D. Question 45. 46. The full meaning of email is? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 40. Question 46. Why did Ummi go to the HOD's office? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 47. According to Ummi, the story of Tella was more relevant to Omar because of what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 48. The kidnapped young boy in Tella's house was no more than what years old? Choose an option between A and D. Who was the district head of the village? Question 49. Choose an option between A and D. Question 50. IPO stands for what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 51. Why were no stranger given accommodation in Lafayette without the approval of the district head? Choose an option between A and D. Question 52. Zaki was? Choose an option between A and D. Question number 53. Dash was not one of the circumstances around Tella's birth. Choose an option between A and D. 54. Dash was not one of the charges filed against Tele. Choose an option between A and D. Number 55. What is the meaning of Boka? What is the meaning of Boka? Choose an option between A and D. Question 56. Why did Teller run into Hakimi's house when he heard the police siren? Choose an option between A and D. Question 57. Fela earned the title The Quiet One because? Choose an option between A and D. Question 56. What brought the police to the district head's house? Choose an option between A and D. Question 59. Why was he named Teller? Choose an option between A and D. Question 60. What was the main reason why Teller doubled the amount of foodstuffs he bought? Choose an option between A and D. Now let's consider question number 61. What killed Teller's Question 61. What killed Teller's father? Is it a car accident, a heart attack, old age, or food poisoning? Choose an option. Question 62. Fele works as a what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 63. Around what age did Teller become an orphan? Choose an option between A and D. Question 64. Teller worked every day from what time to what time? Choose an option between A and D. Question 65. Where did Teller work? Choose an option between A and D. Question 66. Tomiwa came from what state? Choose an option between A and D. Question 67. Who was the 100 level coordinator? Choose an option between A and D. Question 68. Who were in the car that offered Salma a ride? Choose an option between A and D. Question 69. Don't come in after me. Whose rule was that? Choose an option between A and D. Question 70. Ada insisted that people called her place of birth. Ada insisted that people call her place of birth what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 71. What was the most common factor that strengthened the friendship between Salma and her roommates? Is it food, religion, fashion, or music? Choose an option between A and D. Who were the Muslims in Salma's room? Choose an option between A and D. Question 73. Dr. Debo had been in the university for more than how many years? Choose an option between A and D. What part of the country was Salma from? Choose an option between A and D. Which car offered Salma a ride back to school? That's question 75. Choose an option between A and D. Question 76. Which one of Salma's roommates was very generous? Choose an option between A and D. Question 77. Ngozi was from what state? Choose an option between A and D. Question 78. What had someone heard about Dr. Dabo? Choose an option between A and D. Question 79. Among Salmon's roommates, who was the most brilliant? Choose an option between A and D. Question 80. What did Dr. Dabo do when Salmon left his office? Choose an option between A and D. Question 81. What was the delicacy of Salmon's people? Choose an option between A and D. Question 82. Rats were the delicacies of people. Whose people? Choose an option between A and D. Why exactly didn't Salmon want to stay in the room at first? Choose an option between A and D. So remember, these questions are gotten from all the chapters of that novel, the Life Changer. So make sure you go through these questions one after another and choose the right option. Question 84. How did someone react to Dr. Dabo's advances? Choose an option between A and D. Which hotel did someone get? Choose an option between A and D. Question 86. Why had no boy attempted to go out with Tomiwa? Choose an option between A and D. Question 87. What did Bint whisper into Omar's ear? Choose an option between A and D. Who was Habib? A driver, a politician, a lecturer, or a student? Choose an option between A and D. CGPA stands for what? Choose an option between A and D. That's question 89. Question 90. Which grade were the four girls setting of graduating with? Choose an option between A and D. Question 91. Labaran was a driver, a politician, lecturer, or a student? Choose an option between A and D. Why did someone quarrel with Tomiwa and her roommates? Question 92. Choose an option. Habib thought he was speaking with who on the phone? Choose an option between A and D. Question 93. Question 94. Why do students often lock their rooms and switch off the light before eating? Choose an option between A and D. Question 95. What first made Habib suspect that Tomiwa was not Salma? Choose an option. Is it her beauty, her English, her confidence, or her shyness? Choose an option between A and D. Question 96. How much did Habib give Tomiwa for herself? Choose an option between A and D. Question 97. In the car, Labaran sat at the back seat because. Choose an option between A and D. Question 98. Whose number did Salmon give Habib instead of hers? Choose a number between A and D. Question 99. Dash is not one of the reasons why Tomina hated politicians. Choose an option between A and D. Question 100. Why did Tomiwa ask Lebaran to sit in the front instead? Now choose an option between A and D. Question 101. How did Tomiwa know that Habib was a politician? Choose an option between A and D. Question 102. According to Ummi, Thema was hardly moving because she was paralyzed. Is it A, B, or C, or she was sleeping, which is D? Choose an option. Question 103. Kolawole was expelled because he implicated who? Choose an option between A and D. Question 104. One of these is not why Ummi considered moral philosophy as a walkover. Choose an option between A and D. Question 105. What punishment was given to Salma for Imal? Choose an option between A and D. Question 106. The past question for moral philosophy has been repeated for how many years? Choose an option. Question 107. According to everyone, the new HOD was a benevolent man, a wicked woman, a benevolent woman, a wicked man. Choose an option. Question 108. Why was someone overdressed on the day of her final paper? Choose an option between A and D. Question 109. Who persuaded Salmo to sign the email form? Choose an option between A and D. Question 110. Students were referred to be at the hall minutes before the exam started. How many minutes? Choose an option. What did students call cheat notes? Choose an option between A and D. That's question 111. Now, question 112. Why didn't someone know the answer to any of the questions? Choose an option between A and D. Question 113. The invigilator suspected Samuel because choose an option between A and D. Question 114. What was Kolawole's full name? Choose an option between A and D. Question 115. Why did most students cut for email simply leave the school instead of facing the committee? Choose an option between A and D. Question 116. What did the committee want to know about Kolawole? Choose an option between A and D. Question 117. Salmo consulted to help who? Choose an option between A and D. Question 118. What made Salmo cry when she faced the committee? Choose an option between A and D. Question 119. Habib is a governor, a deputy governor, president, or speaker of the house? Choose an option between A and D. Question 120. Who was the man who posed as the exec chairman? Choose an option between A and D. Question 121. What did Tomina think that Salma meant by someone higher up? Choose an option between A and D. Question 122. How much did Salma offer to escape the punishment of Imal? Choose an option between A and D. Question 123. Who did Habib know that could have assisted Salma? Choose an option between A and D. Question 124. The full meaning of LT is what? Choose an option between 1A and B. Now, let's look at question 125. What did Tama tease that Omar would do with his new phone? Choose an option between A and D. Question 126. Kabia was a person that is A. Annoying, proud, C. Friendly, or D. Quiet. Choose an option between A and D. Now, question 127. Dash is not one of the reasons why Muslims bury their dead faster than Christians, according to the novel. Choose an option between A and D. Question 128. What does dash lose it to the cards mean? Choose an option between A and D. Question 129. What made Omar conclude that there was no justice on earth? Choose an option between A and D. Question 130. According to Ummi, why was Kabir always happy? Choose an option between A and D. Now let's look at question 131. Dash was not one of the reasons why Labaran did not give Habib back the money from Kabir. Choose an option between A, which is Habib was rich and does not need the money, and option D, which is Habib wouldn't expect Kabir to still have the money on him. Question 132. Who did Labaran send to get back the money from Kabir? Choose an option between A and D. Is it Gumuzu? Is it Stella? Is it Zaki or Katiki? Question 133. What was the name of the talk that was sent after Kabir from the gambling house? Choose an option between A and D. Question 134. Dash was not one of the reasons why Habib was uncomfortable with using Zaki again. Choose an option between A and D. Question 135. Why did the gambling leader send a talk after Kabir? Choose an option between 1 to 8 and D. Question 136. How did the police find Teller never to set foot? How did the police force Teller never to set foot in Lavarita's house again? Choose an option between A and D. Question 137. Who was the leader of the gambling group? Choose an option between A and D. Is it Hakimi, Labaran, Katigi, or Zaki? Question 138. Apart from the criminal life, Zaki was also A. Choose an option between A and D. Question 139. How much did Kabir have on him when he left the gambling joint? Choose an option between A and D. Question 140. Who sang the song The Gambler? Choose an option between Kelly Rowland, Kelly Rogers, Kenny Rowland, or Kenny Rogers. Question 141. How much did Kabir come to gamble with? Choose an option between A and D. Question 142. Which band of phone did Salim buy? Choose an option between A and D. Question 143. Why did Ummi conclude that they should all tell Daddy about Omar's admission together? Choose an option between A and D. Question 144. Who was Salim's friend? Choose an option. Question 144. Why did the carjacker leave Salim's vehicle at the intersection? Choose an option between A and D. Question 146. Question 145. Why was Salim disappointed after seeing his online girl in real life? Choose an option between A and D. Question 146. The carjacker were unable to start Salim's car because of what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 147. What did Lawal say that reminded Salim of the other ordeal that he had had with which people? Is it armed robbery? Is it extortion? Is it carjacking or kidnapping? Question 148. One of the carjacker was who? Choose an option between A and D. Question 150. Dash was the name of the prostitute in Salim's story. Choose an option between A and D. Question 150. Why did the "please don't hurt me" make Salim think that the prostitute was part of the conspiracy? Choose an option between A and D. Question 151. DP stands for what? Divisional Police, Displayed Picture, Digital Photo, or District Patrol? Choose an option. Question 152. According to Salim, SUVs are popularly called what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 153. In Nigerian English, what is the meaning of military parking? Choose an option between A and D. Question 154. The full meaning of SUV is? Choose an option between A and D. Question 155. The Life Changer was written by who? Choose an option between A and D. Question 156. The novel is divided into how many chapters? Choose an option between A and D. Question 158. What was Tomiwa's village food for kings? Choose an option between A and D. Question 148. What was Tomiwa's ambition? Choose an option between A and D. Question 149. In the novel, it was stated that dash is the second to English in the ranking of international languages. Choose an option between A and D. Question 160. In the novel, good morning in French means what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 161. And how did you say that's very good in French? Who asked this question? Choose an option between A and D. Question 162. C'est très bien in English means what? Choose an option between A and D. Question 163. Bint's immediate elder sister is who? Choose an option between A and D. Question 164. Who was the first child in Bint's family? Choose an option between A and D. Question 165. Who insisted on calling Ummi mom? Choose an option between A and D. Question 165. Who insisted on calling Ummi mom? Bint, Jamila, Malam Salihu, or Omar? Choose option A to D. Question 166. Who is the second child of the family? Choose from option A to D. Question 167. Who was Omar's immediate younger sister? Choose from option A to D. Question 168. The first daughter in the family is Tema, Bint, Jamila, or Omar. Choose from any of these options. Question 169. Bint's father reads what course? Choose from option A to D. Question 170. Who promised to upgrade Omar touchlight phone to a smart Android phone? Is it the dad, the mom, his sisters, or D, the mistress? Choose from option A to D. Question number 171. Why did they troop out and went to the courtyard? White plastic chairs were already there and began dusting them with an old piece of clothing. Who are these persons who did this? Choose from A to D. Question 172. Ummi's community name is called what? Choose the right option from A to D. Question 173. Omar scored credits including English and mathematics at the very first attempt in his WAEC examination. How many credits did he score? Choose from option A to D. Question 174. Omar scored dash in his JAMB. What was the score? Choose from option A to D. Question 175. The dash was the life changer for Omar. Choose from option A to D. Question 176. Omar's mother was, is he a lawyer, an accountant, a teacher, or a pharmacist? Choose from option A to D. Question 177. What time did Ummi's husband usually close from work? Choose from option A to D. Question 178. How many students had the HOD interviewed before he attended to Ummi? Choose from option 1 to D, A to D. Question 179. In my school, for just wearing the wrong color of sandal, you will be sent home. Who sets this? Is it Bint, Omar, Ummi, or Tema? Choose from the option. Question 179. Was Ummi wearing her hijab at the HOD office? Choose an option between A and D. Question 180. Pele was not called the quiet one at birth. Is it true, false, I don't know, or none? Choose an option. Question 182. How many police vans came to stop outside the district head gate? Choose an option between A and D. Question 183. Inalimilhai wa Ina Ilhai Rajwan was said by who? Is it the Hakimi, the courtier, the policeman, or Zaki? Choose from option A to D. How many times did teller faint in the Hakimi's residence? Question 184. Choose from A to D. Question 185. The boy that was dragged and kidnapped spent how many weeks in teller's house before the police came and freed the boy? Choose from question 1 A to D. Question number 186. What was the initial price the kidnapper demanded for? Is it option, is it 200,000, 1 million, 250,000, or none? That's question 186. Question 188. The kidnapper ransom price later came down to what price? Choose from option A to D. Question 188. If he likes, let him trust everybody, says who? Question 188. Choose option A to D. Question 189. What drove Salma out the university? Is it exam malpractice, tested positive for drug abuse? Which of the options between A and D? Choose between A and D. Question 190. Which university do you think Ummi went to? Choose from option A to D. Question 191. Who did Salma become close to in the room, all because she was in the know of the latest and craziest fashion outfit? Choose from option A to D. Question 192. Who would never cook for just herself alone, whether her roommate ate or not? Is it Ngozi, Ada, Salma, or Tomiwa? Choose from option A to D. Question number 193. What was the new HOD? Who was the new HOD that didn't even consider to pardon Salma for the examination malpractice? Choose from option A to D. Question 194. Who was behind the wheel as he changed to drive from Kwangila to Ahmadu Bello University? Choose from option A to D. Now, question number 195. The novel is divided into how many chapters? Is it 7, 8, 9, or 10? Choose from the option A to D. Question 195. Question 196. In the novel, it was stated that Dutch is the second to English in the ranking of international languages. Choose from the option. Question number 196. First question the teacher asked was, who can tell me how to say dash in French? Choose from the option. Question 197. Who was Bint telling the story of her classroom encounter with their middlesome social study teacher the previous week? Choose from option 1 A to B. Question number 198. In the novel, good morning in French means what? Choose from option A to D. Now, question number 199. And how do you say that's very good in French? Who asked this question? Is it the teacher, the headmistress, Bint, or none of the above? Choose from option A to D. Now, the final question, six trees bring is in English means what? That is French in English. It means what? Choose from option A to D. Now, this 200 question will help you review the textbook because all these questions are getting from the novel. So try as much as you can to review these 200 questions, and then you'll be able to answer the 10 questions that will be given you in your exams. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also be ready to get updates that will help you pass your JAMB UTME examination. Thanks so much for watching.